right, so here at the top right-hand corner of Daybreak, as you mentioned before, it is TT Esports WhiteRa. He is spawning as our red Protoss player. His opponent down at the bottom left-hand corner, the one, the only, from Team Liquid, that is Sheth. He's our purple Zerg.
And like I said, Sheth probably going to have a slight advantage here on this map unless WhiteRa has something crazy in store for him.
Just possible it is WhiteRa.
It is indeed. And we've seen a different crazy build out of him every game thus far throughout this series, so who knows?
That last game, I don't even know how he made that work. Especially with proxying. Forge Fast Expand?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I was worried he might keep going there.
I wouldn't be surprised. But
let's see what
WhiteRa is good at playing. He's an intelligent person. It's not like he has the world's best mechanics.
Oh, absolutely,
absolutely. But
he's just a very smart player.
Exactly. And so reactionary and being able to keep on top of, or keeping his opponent's mind games off his toes and stuff like that, he's very, very good at that. So
he's certainly going to have his work cut out for him finishing that wall at the natural.
Yes.
I mean, that is just a serious construction project right there. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish that in time, especially if Sheth, and yeah, here we have an early
Speedling build,
Probably going to follow that up with a pool, and then there's no way WhiteRa is going to be able to fully wall the natural, so Sheth might just commit to a Zergling run by like we saw before on Shattered, but he only made 4 that time.
Right.
Invested in speed. So we'll have to see whether he makes additional lings or if he just sticks with the regular 4 that he likes to go with. And that'll probably determine what he's up to. Nice surround right there by Sheth.
Nice.
Picks off the wayward probe that's scouting around his base. And
became less of a Speedling build, though, because he forgot to transfer back. But he'll have that in plenty of time. So he'll get that going here in just a second. But back on WhiteRa's side of things, Forge coming up at the front. No real surprise there. Put down an expansion, then a cannon, then a gateway. And just hope that he can, as you mentioned, this big construction project, that he can work it all the way over before any sort of a roach timing hits. No Stargate play yet out of WhiteRa.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially given the fact that he knew his opponent was going for roaches and was pretty susceptible at the beginning. Again, we kind of talked about before, though, that Zergs can prepare for those sorts of builds pretty easily, though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just kind of weird that we haven't seen that yet. A lot of Protoss players really favoring that heavy Stargate play lately. And it's so effective, especially on big maps like this. It really allows you to kind of get in the Zerg's face and do some early game pressure, and then executed with micro like, JYP and MC, they make it just look so easy. They pick off drones, queens, units that are out on the field. They take the Xel'Naga towers back. I mean, just so many good things come out of it. And then the Void Rays also mix into your army fairly well a little bit later on. And the Phoenixes just add utility throughout the entire game. They pick off overlords. They deny scouting across the map. There's just so many things about the Stargate opening that I really like that it really surprises me that he hasn't used it yet. But from what I've seen of WhiteRa lately, especially in recent tournaments and in recent important high-profile games, he's really liking the heavy gateway timing attacks, the 7 gate, the 8 gate.
He's shown that this whole series.
Yeah.
So, speaking of TSL JYP, though, he's been getting some love recently on r/StarCraft and his stream as well. So I'm glad to see that. It's a very fun, informational as well as you're watching one of the best players in the world go at it. And he's significantly improved over the past couple of months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he was already super good. So
yeah.
That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, I'm thinking like well into Code S soon. So
for sure. I always thought he was one of the top tier Protoss players just from watching him play. He's really innovative. And he was also one of the first guys post patch to really start utilizing the speed War Prism to great effect against Zerg players. And I really like that.
I did watch a couple of games from that recently. It was actually one of them was on this map where on Daybreak, where he was just actually running 2 Warp Prisms, one along the top, one along the bottom, and there was just no way for the Terran player to catch up to those. And it just, he basically flipped it on his head. So
we got a Baneling bust.
Yes.
Coming out of Sheth here, speed is done. Baneling nest just about to finish. He's morphing Banelings. Better hope those don't get scouted. No units right now for WhiteRa out on the field. This could be devastating for him. He only has this single Zealot plugging the gap, and once that gets taken out by these Banelings, I think Sheth can just roll through with the additional lings, take out the cannon immediately. He needs to be very quick, very decisive.
Oh boy.
And And here we go.
Here it comes. We'll see if a force field gets put down.
Wow.
Beautiful force field for WhiteRa. He doesn't even lose the Zealot. And that's hopefully going to give him the time that he needs to prepare for this. Another pylon coming up at the front. Another photon cannon coming up at the back. So it's a little more stout wall. The Banelings run through, but they don't have enough quite yet to kill the pylon. It should give WhiteRa enough time to prepare. Another structure being put at the back.
Pylon does get up, so he is going to be able to hold on here. Very impressive from WhiteRa. That was a very nice hold. The minerals came down to the last second there. He almost didn't have an additional 100 to put down that last pylon and fully wall off the bottom there.
Yeah, but he does it just in time and secures himself pretty nice spots. He can actually not worry about these 2 sentries that are sitting inside of there. He doesn't have to get those out. He can warp onto the low ground. Does he still have a probe anywhere else on the map? No. I'm looking at his vision. He's not had anything else revealed, so actually to put down a forward pylon, he will have to go through one of these at the wall. But that being said, man, look at this. An additional 6 gateways coming up right now, 7th at the front, and we're going to see another 7 gate plus 1 timing attack.
7 gate response here could be deadly. I don't think Sheth is going to be anticipating that as a repercussion of that early Baneling bust.
Yeah.
And he invested, you know, in the Baneling nest, in the Banelings. However many lings he lost there. He wasn't producing drones that whole time. Here we see, for once, Sheth in the supply deficit.
Yes.
58 to 69. So, considerable supply deficit for Sheth right now. He's way behind in the macro. And keep in mind, WhiteRa is adding those 6 gates. So, he's about to just explode in terms of production. And there you have it. His supply just now starting to skyrocket. Can make his way across the map nice and easy. Make sure he secures his natural, leaves a sentry or 2 for force fields.
Yes.
You know, just in case Sheth goes
there will be a ling run by once this hits.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no way that he's not going to do that, especially when he sees how many units are on the field. No force fields going down to even try and stop those. Did one have to waste those as a pretty wide spot at the moment. But WhiteRa now has a pretty immense amount of units, warping in Stalkers 5 at a time because his economy is good enough to support that at the moment. We do have the Roach Warren being rushed up for Sheth, but I don't know if that's going to pay off for him or get up in time. By the time these units make their way across, yes, the Roach Warren will be done. Yes, Roaches will be on the way, but not a lot of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. And here we go. He's actually not going with the run by. He looks like he's setting up for some sort of a flank here. Surprisingly, WhiteRa taking out the rocks in mid here. I'm not really sure what that's all about. He could actually just circumvent that altogether. And it's not like he needs the direct resupply route. He can always warp units in at a forward pylon.
Of course.
So taking some extra time here.
Yeah, looks like he wants those extra warpins, though, so he is actually going to allow 15 roaches and 3 spine crawlers to come up. That's a significant number of units, but wow, we already have 11 stalkers there, a ton. Oh, wow, actually more reinforcing all the time. Subsequent warpins coming in now. He's taking out these destructible debris. He really wants to make sure that he can get the best possible engagement before he even starts to move in.
Yeah.
And he is actually going to have a massive number of units.
He really is. And here we go, WhiteRa pushing in with everything right now. Only 3 spine crawlers remain for Sheth, or rather just got up. Great force fields go down, segmenting most of the roaches in the front. There are still a few in the back, but this is just a steamroller force from WhiteRa. He's going to bulldoze his way straight into the natural, and there's nothing Sheth can do about it. Look how many stalkers he has.
Yeah, it looks like the last spine crawler goes down. Sheth pulling all of his drones. Let's watch the workers count skyrocket.
Let's do that. They're all going to go down here, and additional roaches just trickling in right now.
Yeah.
But where did all those stalkers come from?
And there it is, GG, exclamation mark.
We are tied up.
Wow, 3-3, guys. This essentially comes down to a best of 3 now.
It does indeed.
Here we go, guys. We're going to move into game number 7 in just a second. And